I once heard someone say that cynicism is an answer for everything. Now, I don't know who said it. I honestly tried Googling it and couldn't find it. I'm not even certain that it's a real quote. Maybe I just misremembered something. But it's had a really big impact on the way that I think about reality and the way that I challenge myself to think personally. So, with the help of our wonderful friend here, Carol, I thought we'd talk a little bit about cynicism and try to explore how it impacts us on an everyday basis. Well, friends, I'm sorry to say this, but I have scared Carol and he's no longer hanging out with us. He is now sitting in a suitcase just at my feet, chilling, instead of being a beautiful model that he was in that last shot. But what does this idea of cynicism as an answer for everything really mean? Does it mean you could just write cynicism on your taxes or on a test and get away with it? Probably not. You're probably going to still get audited. But I do think that it has a big impact in the way we interact with each other in our society, especially on the internet today. So I want to give an example from my own life and talk a little bit about this post that I made a couple weeks ago. My state senator, Andrea Hundley, created this little video talking about the NRA convention coming to Indianapolis. And the irony that we're hosting this on the wake of multiple mass shootings, and I don't even know which mass shooting it was at the time because there have been so many since. But I woke up the next day after reposting this video to so many comments. And I thought, okay, cool, like people are engaging, we're having a discussion. I need to jump in and really talk to people and try and figure out what they're seeing and see how we can see eye to eye. But the majority of the comments were, quite frankly, overly simplistic. They were things like, guns don't kill people, people kill people, or there's not a gun violence issue, there's a mental health issue in America. Now, I don't disagree with those statements. Yes, we do have a huge mental health issue in America. Yes, people holding guns kills people. Now, sometimes guns misfire and maybe someone dies, someone drops a gun or something like that. But the simplicity, the simple logic of these ideas, I think affords us some sense of comfort. It affords us some sense of understanding of reality that just isn't true. Existing in the world right now, and probably for eternity, has been a very complex thing. We are not alone. The way that we interact with each other is not simplistic. When we have a lot of guns inside of our society, they have a big impact not only on the things that happen, like gun violence, but also on the way that we think about our safety and the way that we think about our place in reality. Now, I don't want to just harp on conservatives. I also want to talk a little bit about my more liberal friends. If you're a liberal like me, you probably think all of this cynicism talk is ridiculous. You're an optimist, maybe a realist. You see reality in the march of progress as something inevitable. You believe that if we work hard and we participate with each other, that we can solve any problem. But I think sometimes we, practice this idea of cynicism when we draw boundaries around who has access or who we desire to understand. So we've worked very, very hard, and I've personally worked very hard to understand what it's like to be a person in the LGBTQ community. I have friends who are gay, who are trans, and I try very, very hard to understand that. I've worked hard to understand what it's like to be a criminal, to live in the inner city, to see these people as just human beings who are responding to their environment. But honestly, I haven't worked very hard to understand my conservative friends. I haven't worked hard to understand a person who works 60, 70, 80 hours a week to provide for their family and never gets to see them. The frustrations that they have as, maybe a man or a woman who lives in this society, and the safety that they find in these ideologies and practices that they hold so dearly. This same, different ideologies, but the same way that I hold my own ideologies as sacred and important. I'm not bringing all of this up to say that, both liberals and conservatives are bad. I do think that there are degrees of harm that come from different ideologies. But I am bringing this up to say that we need, personally, each and every one of us needs to work hard to understand where our ideologies fall into cynicism. Where has our creativity and our thoughtfulness and our understanding been corrupted or subverted by an overly simplistic understanding of reality. It's not hard to get lost in that type of thinking. It's incredibly easy. I think it's incredibly natural. We want to believe that we're right. We want to believe that we understand things as they are. And we want to believe that if people were like us, that reality would be better. But it's through understanding and practicing this humility, or optimism, or maybe real realism, not the cynical type of realism, that we really see society change. It's through working together, through understanding and trying to change people on their terms, by showing them that they are just as worthy of protection and care as the people that we tend to look towards.